All right, well, who is singing us in today?
That would be me.
Jacob, hi Jacob.
Morning.
Good morning, Jacob. So thank you. I know you were busy doing your own Tikkun Leil Shavuot on Thursday nights, but we did use your recording, of course, for the community to end my study.
I went back and watched afterwards. It
Oh,
was
you
lovely
did?
to at least what was posted on Facebook, not the private sessions that occurred afterwards.
Apparently,
Obviously,
there's no way to record the breakout groups. We've discovered that
interesting.
in the technology, you can only record like the main sessions. It wasn't a political decision. It was a limitation of the technology.
Oh, we're
Believe me, we
constantly
weren't only
learning.
recording me. I don't want you to think, oh, we're only recording Kleinbaum and we're not. It's a technology issue that the breakout groups can't get recorded. At least we haven't discovered how to do that yet.
Yeah, we're constantly learning what the limitations are of these
Yes.
programs. Okay. So I wanted to bring back the text that I offered last week from Shefa Gold, Shuva Yachaltza Nafshi. It resonated, I think, a little bit differently with me over the weekend. You know, that kind of dual translation of the phrase Chaltza Nafshi. She translates it free my soul, but I know it can also be translated as save my life. And so thinking about it really in the collective and
Yeah.
where we are now and the demand of Shuva really being an imperative, calling upon a God who feels a little bit absent, was really resonating strongly with me this weekend. So,
Beautiful.
Can everybody see that? I can't tell.
No, it's not shared yet.
Okay.
I'll let you know when it's there. But Jacob, why don't you start?
sure. And I'll repeat it a little bit too as
There
it's
it is.
coming up.
Now we can see it.
Shuva yachaltza nafshi, Shuva yachaltza nafshi, Shuva yachaltza nafshi, return and free my soul. Shuva yachaltza nafshi, Shuva yachaltza nafshi, Shuva yachaltza nafshi, return and free my soul. Yain alai, yain alai, yain alai, yain alai, yain alai, yain alai, yain alai. Shuva yachaltza nafshi, Shuva yachaltza nafshi, Shuva yachaltza nafshi, return and free my soul. Return and free my soul.
Thank you so much, Jacob. And I want to add that perhaps today our study should be in memory of George Floyd. As our country is racked in paroxysm of grief and rage, let's study together and add this energy of learning and studying together into the world, which so desperately needs it. And for those of you who are on Facebook, I did post something today about my response to the violence that's happening, and I've been posting over the course of these last few days. And if I can get all the things organized, I will be sending out an email to the congregation today as well in response. But we are in very difficult days, and it is our tradition as a people to turn to the Psalms when times are particularly difficult. And here we are, we're in it, we're already in it. So here we are saying the Psalms. And today we are moving towards personal renditions of Psalm 6. But I believe Leslie is our TA today while Harold is on the road. Thank you, Leslie. Is our assistant TA nearby? Is Emily nearby? You're muted, Leslie.
Hi.
Just want to make sure Emily is nearby, our assistant TA.
She's right here, thank God.
Hi, Emily. Well, could you?
I'm here.
It makes us all feel more secure, Emily. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So our TA, it says Fran Dunkel, but it's actually Leslie Bernstein, and our assistant TA, Emily, who will make sure all the technology really works. Thanks, Emily.
Good job.
I was on a family Zoom call yesterday, which could have been recorded as an example of the chaos of technology in multi-generational settings. It could have been one of those funny, you know, the older people desperately trying and all the younger people just barely restraining their mirth at the idiocy of our generation. Anyway, to the Psalms. So Leslie we are going to be looking at personal renditions, but I think before we even get to Psalm 6, Randy Sarakoff wrote a beautiful psalm based on the teaching Thursday night. I don't know how many folks were able to join us for the Tikkun, but I taught Psalm 27, which we'll get to, but a little jump start to Psalm 27, which is the psalm for the month of Elul. And we sing the one line, Achat Sha'alti, so many people know that line, but the whole psalm is a deep and spectacular psalm. And some of the themes that we've already encountered, you'll see in Psalm 27, which is why I could use Jacob's beautiful song, because the calling out and the seeking God is present as well in Psalm 27.
Oops, sorry.
But Randy, can we put up Randy's psalm, and Randy will read it, and then after you read it, Randy, will you tell us a little bit about your writing of it, okay?
It'd be my pleasure. Thank you, Rabbi. Okay, so I just wanted to point out that I've been reading Psalm 27 as part of the CBST Psalms project that we started after the election of 45. So I'm really close to the CBST version of it. So you'll see a lot of that. It was hard for me to change. A song for David. Adonai, be my light in a world filled with darkness, and guide me to find the strength to not be afraid. Surround me with love. Whom shall I fear? My enemies are many, attacking me from all sides, from within and from without. Why do they not stumble and fall? If an army attack me, my heart strengthened by your love shall be strong. Though battle is waged against me, I become confident. One thing I ask, the thing that I seek, is to know the presence of Yud-Hey Vav-Hey all the days of my life, to bear witness to the tranquility and light that is the goodness of Adonai. I find shelter from despair in the Sukkot of the Lord, lifting me to safety on his holy mountain. I rise in confidence. Enemies surround me. I shout out with joy and sing psalms and chant hymns to you. Shekhinah, hear my voice when I call out with gratitude and answer me. My heart yearns. Seek my presence. Yes, it is your presence that I seek. Please, Yud-Hey Vav-Hey, do not hide your face from me. Do not turn away your faithful believer in anger. You are my help. Do not abandon me. Do not forsake me, O God of my redemption. Though my mom and dad renounced me, you took me in and care for me. Teach me, Yud-Hey Vav-Hey, the way. Guide me on a path of Tikkun Olam. Protect me from my attackers. Shelter me from my tormentors who attack me with lies and threats. Had I not the faith that your justice, your goodness, your love would finally appear in this world, it is unthinkable. Hope in God, find strength and courage within yourself and in your heart, and hope in God.
Beautiful, Randy. And I love the way you use Yud-Hey Vav-Hey by transliterating it. That's a very clever way of referring to it, but actually not saying it, but very interesting in capitalizing those letters. And it feels so deeply personal by saying mom and dad. You're taking kind of an abstraction of mother and father and making it so personal. So tell us a little bit about what this means to you in writing it.
Psalm 27 spoke to me back in 2016. prior to the election, after a long battle of parents, mom and dad not accepting me and then accepting me in this slow process of actually attending our wedding, which would be our Jewish wedding, which you performed, which, believe it or not, June 8th will be 6 years, 2014.
Wow, how wonderful.
So they were
It's a
there.
beautiful wedding, yes.
Thank you. There's no really reason to get into the nitty gritty of it, but they disinvited me from Thanksgiving that year, Mickey and I, and it was just kind of like the final straw, and I had to walk away. My siblings, everybody except one nephew, kind of walked away. So during a lull of that year, when I realized what the psalm had to say, besides the fact that Achat Sha'alti spoke to me, Psalm 27 became really deep to my heart. And I recite it every day, especially as part of the Psalms project, but it helps me. I do feel God has taken me in. CBST has become my adopted family, family of choice, as opposed to the family of biological family that rejected me. So when I finally got the chance to hear you teach on Psalm 27, which I've been yearning for a very long time, I just took to it, and immediately I started writing. And like I said, I had to stay real close to the CBST version because it's so close to my heart. And I just wanted to add that moment in Israel on the CBST trip when you gave me the beautiful opportunity to read Psalm 27 at the southern wall. We were all sitting there on the wall, and the city of David behind me. And Ira got this wonderful picture. I posted it on Facebook of me reading, standing next to Renee. It's a moment that will just an amazing moment. And I thank you all, my CBST family, because I do find hope and strength and courage to get through a lot that goes on in the world with you guys. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Randy. That's so beautiful. And what Randy's talking about is that the southern steps of the Temple Mount is where the Israelites who were coming for pilgrimage would enter to go to the top of the temple. So we believe that's where the Levites would stand in rows and sing antiphonally these psalms to each other, and why we have what we're called Shir HaMa'alot. Literally, it means song of the steps, song of ascension, we often interpret it, but it's literally the song of the steps of going up, and we were standing right there. And it was so beautiful that Randy read one of these psalms, the Psalm 27, as we were standing on those steps, which is, we believe, exactly where the psalms were likely sung, or some of them, or there was, if we knew what the music is. So beautiful, Sandy. And as I said, I think this psalm has particular meaning for people who have experienced expulsion from our own families and rejection from our own parents, who are exactly the ones who are meant to be the caring support. So Randy, thank you so much for being so open with us and sharing that with us. And we pray that there will come a day where there will be reconciliation. And many in our community have lived through that too, of years of exile, and then some reconciliation, and some never do. I mean, that's the reality. Some never do. All right, thank you so
Rabbi.
much.
I just want to add, I think I'm going to read this version going forward.
How beautiful is that? Perfect.
Thank you.
So now we are going to go, I think, Leslie, to the beginning of Psalm 6, right? I'm going to turn this over to Leslie. And how many folks actually, so do you remember the original, the Psalm 6, or should I read it again? Or do people have, I should read it again. Okay, I'm going to read Psalm 6 again before we dive into it. Just an overview, but I'll just read the English through just so you hear it. I won't go through it word for word as we study it. To the chief musician, and again, this is my Mitsuda Tehillim. I'm not advocating it as a translation. I'm just using this one. To the chief musician on Niginot, on the 8-stringed harp, a psalm of David. Adonai, do not rebuke me with your anger, nor chastise me with your rage. Be gracious to me, Adonai, for I am desolate. Heal me, Adonai, for my bones are terrified. My soul is utterly terrified. And you, Adonai, how long? Return, Adonai, free my soul. Deliver me for the sake of your loving kindness. For in death there is no mention of you. In the lower world, in Sheol, who will thank you? I am worn out with my sighing. Every night I cause my bed to float. With my tears I melt my couch. My eye is dimmed with anger. It has aged because of my tormentors. Depart from me, all you evildoers. For Adonai has heard the voice of my weeping. Adonai has heard my supplication. Adonai will accept my prayer. Ashamed and utterly terrified will all my foes be. They will return and be instantaneously ashamed. Okay, so Leslie, bring us into our journey of personal revelation.
And Harold suggested starting with Dean Dresser's piece of art, if that's okay.
Oh, beautiful.
All right. So we're gonna share the screen here. Right there. Okay. Everybody see that? Yep. Okay, Dean, are you there? You wanna say something?
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. Well, just to bring up a couple points in it. One is that, again, I really strongly identify with this night of David's lamentation. And you can see there's kind of an arc has made its way into this work. And David is in the middle of that, if you can see that clearing. And what he's facing, you know, as well as that he's moved back and forth. And I think the thing that dominated me when I was working on this work and as I worked through the psalm is those moments when people have to make impossible decisions. I was thinking about doctors talking to families at hospitals. I was specifically thinking about Karen's mother when she had to leave her parents in Amsterdam and go into the underground. Those times in life when you have to just bear up and just face what seems insurmountable and keep moving through. So the lamentation very deeply affected me, and so this is a response.
This is an amazing series you're doing, Dean, really amazing. I very much respond to the abstractness of it and the emotional power to it.
You ready?
I just want to see, hold on just a second. Yeah, Marcia Melnick says that that reads on so many levels, and I agree with that. And honestly, in the middle of what we're going through right now in this country, to see the matches and the reference to fire and to burning adds a whole new level of pain. Really, really powerful. Thank you so much. And that's mounted on wood?
That is a wood panel. It's a 3/8 wood panel. And again, you can see the copper nail.
Panel.
The copper nails are there. And as you know, as I mentioned, it's in Deuteronomy that God said to instruct that the priests should wash their face in a copper basin. So I went out and I found them, these copper horseshoe nails. And I also think because David was an incredible equestrian, it's sort of appropriate. So.
And just the power of ashes. And think about how ashes have reflected so much. It's really, really magnificent. Thank you. Okay. Leslie, let's just see if there are any comments to this, because this is, or any questions people have right now. Dean, can I ask you, have you worked with this media before, this class of the matches and the ashes and the burning?
I have used burning throughout my life as an artist in a lot of different series. I had one I did with Anna DeVere Smith that was quite large on the LA riots.
Wow.
It was called 40 Wild Mules and an Acre of Dreams. Wow. And I got charred wood from the actual riots to build a platform where I got 160 hoof prints of a federal mule. I did in gold leaf.
Wow.
That blackened wood. So
wow.
Yeah. I think art needs to be
very moving.
Okay.
There are comments, Rabbi.
Okay.
Ginny Henneberg, she said some of it looks like bullet holes, profound. And a lot of people are saying they would like to see the whole series. The symbolism is beautiful, powerful, and looking for an exhibition on it.
I see Judy Hollander has her hand raised.
Judy?
Unmute yourself, Bubala. It's gonna be my dying words, huh? Unmute yourself.
I am unmuted.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Oh, okay. It was what I wanted to ask Dean is, the first time you showed us a picture, you also had one of the times you had like photographs as your journey to get this picture, like the different steps. Do you have those with all of your pictures? Because for me, that was extraordinary to see the process evolve to the finished product.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Judy, I do. I have photographs. A lot of people have talked about that, of the burning, you know, and it's fire. So, you know, I can control it and not control it. So I go through this process, which is very much like the Psalms. I think it's in that rhythm where you start off and you start to execute something, and then you put it totally at risk, and then you execute it further.
Yeah.
So I think that theme runs through the Psalms also, that we're in control and we're not, we're in control, we're not. Yeah.
Beautiful. I do. I absolutely, when we are back in the building, Bimhera V'Yameinu, we are definitely doing an exhibit. Definitely. All right, let's do our next. Who's our next one, Leslie?
Sorry, I think, let me just check here.
And also I'd add, Dean, it would be pretty fantastic when we can see the series together. You know, the that'll be very, very moving too.
Rabbi, we have Darina.
All right, Darina.
Let me do a screen share. Pull this up. Okay, let's.
Emily looks wonderful in that picture. Nice shot, Emily.
Oh, great. Hold on here. We're supposed to be seeing this. Let's try to.
Emily, I think your mom needs a little help there.
Yes, you think.
We need her assistant TA.
Yeah, you just need to click the green button. It should go full.
There, thanks, Bruce. There you go. Okay. Are we on? Or can we see that? No, not yet. Hold on here. Sorry. Document. Are we on? Do we have it?
It's there.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to read, though. It's hard to read.
Yeah,
It's too small.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Emily just went somewhere else. Huh. Let me try it again. Is that okay? I'm just going to try it one more time. Okay. Let's see if we can do this.
Darina, you're getting warmed up there, Darina, wherever you are. Ah, there we go. Beautiful.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. Okay.
Oh, this is inspired by Psalm 118. Interesting, Darina. You're skipping ahead. Okay, would you read?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, I can't read it from this, but I'll open my own file.
Can't see it.
Just give me a moment. I definitely need strong reading glasses.
Okay, now we can see it.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Switching between screens. Oops, there is that mistake. I mean, I sent the original file, the draft, with the part I wanted to cut off in the final version.
We're
Darina,
having a hard time
it's big
hearing.
enough to read now. You can read it on the
You can read
screen.
it.
So I read what I really want to stay there. Well, okay. But I look at my own face in the mirror to make sure I'm here. I still exist. I'm not invisible. I see my people's faces on the screen. I call out to them from this place. They always answer me. Where are we going, my adopted tribe? What have we exited? Where is the midbar? What is the midbar? It's good to see my own face on the screen among the others. All of you, no matter where we're going. The journey has a meaning of its own. Please ignore the rest. It was just part of the draft. It wasn't meant to be in the final version.
Sorry, Doreen.
No, it's my mistake. I sent the wrong file to Heather. Now we resume. Can you still? Here I am. I was having a technical difficulty with Zoom. So, do you have any questions, or shall I?
Yeah, tell us a little bit about writing it. It's beautiful.
Yes, we have to thank our rabbinical intern, Deborah, for getting us to think about being in the midbar in one of the community. And I for there. And my own teen experience that got intertwined with my virtual journey together with you. So this is an non-Jewish person's attempt at a poem. I don't know how well I made it.
It's stunning. It's stunning to me that English is not your first language, Darina. This is so powerful and beautiful. And the imagery of the midbar and journey is so deep in Jewish life. There's a book you might like that Arnie Eisen, who is the chancellor of JTS, wrote called Homelessness on Galut, on Exile. Homelessness and Homecoming in Jewish Thought. And this is just beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much for this. All right, let's do our next one. Let's see if we can get a few more in today. Michael Goldstein.
Mike.
Michael, are you here? Oh, he's in the waiting room.
Yeah, he just got bumped off. I'm bringing him back in, Rabbi.
Thanks,
How
Bruce.
does that happen that people get bumped off, huh?
Yeah, it was perfect timing.
Yeah. Michael, are you here? And we hear a clicking sound. So could everybody mute if you're not speaking? Everybody should mute. Darina, could you mute? Put yourself
Yeah,
up.
it's Dorina with the clicking, and I'm trying to mute her.
I can't mute myself for some reason.
Yeah, right now I'm having trouble muting you as well.
Okay.
There you go. You're muted. That should stop, Rabbi, with the
Okay,
clicking.
thank you. All right, Michael Goldstein, are you here?
He's still hung up in the waiting room. He's been jumping on and off the whole time.
Okay, so let's go to the next person.
Okay.
And when Michael joins.
It's Jeremy. Jeremy also has, Jeremy Lawrence.
Jeremy, are you here?
Yes,
Okay. You're on, Jeremy. Sorry about that. It's a little,
no problem.
it is what it is, right?
Yes. It took Michelangelo long after I died to capture my beauty, to capture my pride. Having killed Goliath with a shot of my sling, but oh, Michelangelo, you missed one big thing. My cock was erect, Goliath was small. Your Tuscan model had not much down there at all. I fucked Bathsheba, Jonathan, many more. I led my countrymen off into war. The list is great of the battles I won, and I wrote the Psalms. Yes, I wrote every one. The pain they express you never will know, like wanting to build God a house, but oh no. I never will get what inspired such ire. I wrote all of the Psalms while playing the lyre. Coda. I pick up my instrument, pluck on its strings, for you down in the world where you hope pigs have wings. The words of my psalms cured your pains. Now I'll do something even more special. I'll cure COVID too.
So you're reading all of them together, right? They're a unit, and then
Yeah, there's
we'll.
three.
Okay.
Psalm 6 overflows with self-pity, self-hate. I think Jeremy skipped this one. Then I say, wait. This guy or this girl thinks they're going to die, and they do what folks do, turn to God and ask why. I've been to emergency 3 times this year. Each time the doctors tried to fill me with fear. You have no red blood cells. You might lose your foot. There are nicer ways that a diagnosis can be put. You sit on a gurney and wait hours for a room in fear of infection, surrounded by gloom. But nothing bad was going to happen to me. A day or 2 in the hospital, how bad could that be? I remember when my lover told me he was ready to go, and I remember thinking, Jeremy, who are you to say no? That same month, my mother chose pneumonia for death. I held her in my arms until her last breath. My sobs back then matched the sobs of this psalm. Now my quarantined life is a comforting balm. I don't get much done, and I don't seem to care until 7 o'clock when the cheers fill the air. And the last one is, okay, take 6. This is for the lead player. Who's playing lead tonight? Stringed instruments. Why did I bring my sax? 8-string lute. Forget about it. Hashem, here we go. Do not rebuke me in your anger. Uh-oh, here comes trouble. Boogie, boogie, boogie. Nor chastise me in your wrath. I don't know, it's been a long time since I've had a really good chastisement. Favor me. How about just shoot me a little slack? For I am feeble-minded? I don't think so. My bones shudder with terror. Is that anything like chattering teeth? My life is hard stricken. My soul is terrified. Face it, my life sucks. How long, oh Lord, how long? I ain't gonna quarantine no more. I ain't gonna quarantine. Come back, Lord, where you been, baby? Free my soul. Save me with your kindness. Save me, Daddy. Don't worry, I know there's nothing that can save me now, and where I'm going, I know you ain't gonna be there. Cry me a river, cry me a river. I'm done with that. I hate soggy pillows. I cried a river over you. Don't flatter yourself, not you, over me. It's all about me and the assholes in my life. Everyone who said they cared but couldn't give a rat's ass. And maybe that includes you. And why should you care? But you should, you know. I am one of God's creatures, God. So you do that voodoo that you do. When? I'll tell you what, I'm going to close my eyes and count to 3. And when I open them, let all my enemies be shamed and utterly undone, okay? Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Wow, fabulous. So talk to us a little bit, Jeremy. And you had told us you hated this psalm, and look what you've done with it.
Well, the first and the third ones are role playing. They're not me. The second one is more me. The anger in these, or what anger there is not against God, it's against the psalmist. And when I was working on this, I read Samuel, both books, and was horrified. And I don't think that I would have written any of these psalms now, these versions now.
What do you mean? Tell us what that means.
well, the world seems completely changed again.
Yeah.
And I'm humbled and frightened, and as we all are. I'll just tell a story which has nothing to do with my writing, but I don't listen to the news a lot, and some days I'll go a whole day without knowing what's going on. And I was out on the street, which I am not out on the street very often, and from blocks away, I heard this guy screaming, "Stop killing Black people." And he kept approaching, well, he was walking towards me or towards the direction that I was standing. And I kept on saying, this guy's out of his gourd. But of course, I didn't know what had happened. And those kinds of moments are humbling.
Well, I appreciate very much your writing is so honest and using humor and references that challenge us. I love it. And I think that, honestly, I felt like you were writing these within this framework. So that's interesting to me because I feel like it really sums up where we are and how many of us feel about the rage that we feel and the sense of hopelessness and also the anger at God and the questioning whether God can do anything. I think it's beautiful, Jeremy.
Well,
Very profound. Really, really love them, and I love them as a triptych.
I would just say one other thing, which is that after all of this, I went back again to the Psalm and tried to look at all of the most literal translations and put together what I felt were the best, just to see if I could get closer to the Psalm.
Uh-huh.
And I said, you've already written 3 attempts at trying to do that, Jeremy, and you haven't succeeded, so stop.
Well, I think all 3 of them are excellent. And I see them, as I said, as a triptych. All 3 of them are, I think, a very profound prism that makes all of us understand the Psalm more deeply. So you might not have succeeded for yourself, but you succeeded, I think, for this particular reader.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Can we do one more today or maybe 2 today? Let's see, one more.
I'm not sure. Just want to say, Rabbi, a lot of people agree with you. We've got a big response in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jeremy, make sure you read the chat.
It's just about 10:40. It's not quite 10:40.
Uh-huh.
We have Ruth Plaves and it's short.
But I want to make sure we have time to respond to it.
Okay.
Let's try it. And if we don't have time, we'll start with it tomorrow. Ruth, do you mind? We'll start with you today. And if we don't have enough time, I will continue tomorrow. Okay.
Try this.
You have to unmute yourself.
I think it's there.
Okay.
See that? Let me make it bigger.
Hmm.
Document only. I'm gonna make that bigger. Okay. Can everybody see that?
No.
Not yet.
Sorry. Okay. Hold on. Oh, it should be here. Let me see if I can. There we go.
It's loading forever, Francine.
I see that. Yeah. Let me just try it one more time. Hold. I think I'm muted.
Here we go. Okay. Your messenger is stalking me, pursuing me by stealth day and night. Have I made you angry? It wouldn't surprise me. I have a way of provoking anger in others. Please don't hold it against me. Don't punish me. I'm weak and cannot help myself. In the beginning, I was enraged with you, shook my fists and cursed you into the night. I wept uncontrollably. My body trembled until I begged for sleep. How long? How long? There are no more tears in me now. In distress, my shoulders heave and I let out a sob. How I wish that I could drench my bed in tears. Can you hear my silence? I need you to hear me. Please send away please send your messenger away frustrated.
Ruth, I love this. And again, it gives me an insight into the psalm I just didn't have before. But tell us a little bit about writing it.
Well, I mean, I know that the psalm itself is expressing the suffering that we all feel, but the psalmist is able to express the suffering and pain through tears. And one of the things that's happened to me over my life with so many losses that I've had with my own illnesses is that I'm no longer able to cry.
Mm.
And how do you receive an answer from God when you can't express your own suffering anymore? And I think that's what I was trying to say.
And that comes across so powerfully. And the images that are in the psalm about crying so much, there is actually something beyond that. And that's what you have touched, that sense that what you would give to be able to cry, so to speak, that it's another loss.
Yes.
It's another loss. Wow, Ruth, this is really beautiful. Have you written before poetry?
No, I've never written poetry. I'm kind of embarrassed.
It's fantastic, and
Well,
it's so moving.
Love poetry, but I was a lot younger.
Wow, Ruth. Well, good for you, because there's something here that's, it's very, very moving to read it, and it feels so authentic and so honest. And you're using the psalm to speak, kind of to say the opposite, to mirror the psalmist by saying, no, that's not my experience, halavai, so to speak, or only if it were so. And I don't have it in front of me now, but that last line, which mirrors can we see it up there again? I'm sorry, it's hard we will be publishing all these, which will be wonderful to have in our hands, but that last line, where the psalmist, you remember, says, ashamed and utterly terrified my foes will be, and they will return and be instantaneously ashamed. But for you to say this very simple, please send your messenger away frustrated, which echoes that first line, your messenger is stalking me. And what you're asking from God is for that hauntingness to leave you. Very beautiful, Ruth. I'm just amazed you're not a poet. You are a poet, but you haven't been writing poetry. And very beautiful.
Thank you.
So I think that's going to be it for today, and we'll continue tomorrow. And again, I'm blown away and so grateful. What is it, Leslie?
Rabbi, I think Judy Hollander, can she make her
Yes,
there?
yes. Let's have Judy Hollander make her announcement, but I think she also put it in the chat for the details. So Judy, just say briefly what it is.
Yes, I put it in the chat for anyone, but if people came in late, they would have not been see it. They can check the CBST website, 7 o'clock Wednesday night. Somebody's coming who's going to talk about the cooperation between Arabs and Jews in Israel in relation to COVID-19.
Thank you so much. And
the link in the Zoom address is on the website.
And folks, I got the feedback that people would like a class that will respond to people who feel like this class is a little over their head, but I want you to stay in the class. And what I'm going to start doing next week on Mondays, I'm going to do an extra session after the class for those who want me to go over things more slowly or to explain things that I've gone over too quickly. So starting on Mondays for a little bit, we'll see how it goes. We'll do a class immediately after this class. Does that work for everybody? Is that okay? Okay.
How long will that class be?
I think we'll start at half an hour and see if that works so it'll go from 10:45 to 11:15.
Okay.
Okay. And then if that's not enough, we'll go from 10:45 to 5 o'clock. I bet you I could outlast any of you. All right. Thank you. And Jacob, are you singing us out?
Yes, I am. And again, I'm just also so very moved by what's been offered today. Really, that power of poetry, being able to use a little to say a lot, is just really very meaningful. All right. So I'll be singing us out again with with Shefa Gold's tune. And while it's coming up, I also just wanted to say thank you to Jeremy for really capturing my own conflicted feelings toward David. The David narrative is sometimes fascinating and sometimes infuriating. So
All very Jewish.
very much so. All right, Shuva Yachaltza Nafshi. Shuva Yachaltza Nafshi. Shuva Yachaltza Nafshi. Shuva Yachaltza Nafshi. Return and free my soul. Nine alive, nine alive, nine alive. Return and free my soul. Return and free my soul. Return and free my soul.
Take care, everyone. It's been wonderful to study with you in memory of George Floyd. And let us continue sending light and positive energy out into the world as we insist on profound change. See everybody tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, and many other things happening this week. And I also want to say this Friday night, which is the first Shabbat in June, is our Shabbat in which we celebrate trans and non-binary Shabbat. And we have two very special guests who will be with us. One a cantor who Jacob Nimi, a cantorial student, right? They're still a student.
Yes, and a former roommate.
A former roommate, Zevi Berman, who sang last year, and Zevi's partner, who's a trans rabbinical student, will be giving the Devar Torah, the drasha, this Friday night. So it should be a very, very special Shabbat. But I'll see everybody tomorrow morning. Shabbat shalom, everybody.